Yo, today I'm back on Fusion and I've kind of ditched the whole Word document because it's not really necessary. It kind of feels over administrative. So I am going to turn my light on and get back into it. So I was thinking a lid, specifically the hinge. So I wanted to figure out how to do that, and I figured the best way to do that is to go off the rotational axes. Where do I actually want this lid to move? But first, let's organize this, rename that. This is going to be coin holder, because that's the specific purpose that I want this for. Could put something else in the chest, could put anything else in the chest. But for now, let's draw on here. So, how do I make this lid? Very simple. No, not very simple, but here's how. We're going to draw a circle, and we're going to go to the wall width, which in this case is 5. And I'm going to double check that, because I think it may actually be 10. Yeah, in this case it is 10. And that's because, so it's a diameter of 10, wall width of 5, it's a radius of 5. And that's it to start off with. Now what I want to do is kind of extrude this feature all along the edge here. Oh, no, yeah? No, that's not, it's kind of what I want to do. I want to get the entire circle out, because that circular feature will essentially become the hinge through which, hold on, why is that not cutting? Because it's not, there we go. You always have to check objects cut. This will become the hinge through which it pivots, and it will specifically pivot at the corner that previously existed here. However, I have not thought this through. Yes, I have. Yes, I have not. Okay, so I want a rotational bit. I'm just thinking, how do I latch this mechanism? I want it to be a snap fit hinge, so I want circular portions, let's say 5. Well, actually, how wide is this? How 150, to each of them 10, that gives me 15. That's not, yeah, that's not bad. All right, 15. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut it all the way through. Cut both these objects, and then we're going to focus one at a time. So 15, we're going to create a rectangular array. So we're going to keep the sketch up and extrude it by -10. You know what? I've changed my mind. 150 by 20 is what, 7.5? I need a whole number. 5 hinges. 30. 150 by 30 mils. What does 30 mils look like? Yeah, it's not bad actually. What does 15 look like? Not too sure. Alright, we're doing -30. 30 and 5, that should be good. And I'll explain what I'm doing in a minute. Let me just figure out where I want this first. Let's have this on the base. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go new body. Actually, no. Let's join that to here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a rectangular pattern of the feature. And no, I don't mean that axes. I want it along here. And so now we can create 3 of them at a distance of 120. I guess 150 minus 130. Merge that, and now we have 3 circular joints here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the exact same thing, coming off of here to here. Turn on the lid, turn off the base. Sorry, turn off the coin holder as well. Where did it go? I see, I need to make a sketch. Sketch is the only way to do something. Enter, finish sketch, enters for a feature. And then extrude that 30. Get rid of the base, turn on the lid. I guess I'll remove the coin holder. Enter, and then once again, we are going to rectangular pattern, this one, along the central axes, specifically pulling along that way, and I only want 2, not 3. Now my guess is it would be 60 mils, but we can check by turning on the base. And you can see that slots right in there nicely. Enter. So now if we turn both these on, you can see that creates a nice round pivot perfectly at where it would have been as a rectangle, but instead it's now going to be a feature. And you're thinking, well, if you're printing these as separate pieces, how are they going to connect? Excellent question. Excellent question. Glad you asked. Glad I asked. Alright, so what we're going to do is turn off the lid. And we are going to... there's a couple ways we could do this. There is indeed a couple ways we can do this. So let me think about this. Which one do I want to be the male piece and which one do I want the female piece? And you'll get what I mean by that. I'm going to have essentially press fit divots. I just got to figure out how. So what I want is I want to put in like a mini extrusion that comes out of here and into the other piece. Alternatively, I could extrude into here and have a divot come out the other piece. I'm just thinking, which way should I go? I think I'll have this one be the divots, and I'll have the other piece be the male piece. Yeah, because if I pull on it, male will erode first. Yeah, so this will be the divots. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a sketch, and you have to remember what plane I'm drawing on, but I'm going to go about halfway for 5. Extrude that, so remember I'm on here, minus, let's say 1, and we'll fix that, and then fillet that down to about 0.5, to about 1, to about 2, to about 2.5, to about 3, to about 5, to about 4, 3.5. Interesting. Alright, but to about 2.5. Yeah, this is an arbitrary number I'm picking. And then I want to mirror that here, and there, and there. No, I want to do more than that. I want to then go onto the chest lid and do a very similar thing. Also, this sketch is annoying me, so we can click V to disable visibility. Form might be a different keybind. Oh, lost it. Okay, we can go onto here, go here, 5. Now we're going to extrude that one, and then we're going to fillet that once again by 2.5. And what this does is it creates a nice round divots. What? 2.5. Strange. That doesn't look correct at all. What have I done wrong? Let me see, so it was a radius of 5. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put these side by side. And then I'm going to inspect this using a section analysis to see how does this joint fit together. And you can see it's not fitting how I want it to. In theory, this should line up like that, and I don't know why it's not. Let's analyze this fillet. Now, section analysis is great because it doesn't slice open the piece. 2.5, and then if I add in a piece up top, and drop it to there, we see. Now that is a nice fillet. There we go. It's always good to check your interiors. And so what I'm going to do then is I'm going to get rid of you, get rid of you, bring back you, and turn off the analyses. So now we've got this nice portion here. Oh, I wonder why I didn't do that before. Oh, that's going on. Why is that like that? Hold on. Let me zoom out. Why is there a line? Oh, that's the wall line. Ooh, thought there was something wrong for a sec. Alright, anyways. So now we can grab all of these features and shift them over. And to shift them over, what we're going to do is create mirror planes. So mid planes, not mirror. Which creates a plane between two surfaces, between that surface and that surface, which is the hinge. And I want a mirror plane. No, I don't need another one. I can just use one because I have the origin plane. So now what I can do is I can grab all these features, these ones, and then I can create a mirror along the plane, and it will do exactly that. If I bring back the section analyses, you can see, well, we can turn off the mirror plane now. You can see it's nice and curved in that exact same way. And what this will do is, because it's circular, it'll essentially, well, rotate, but it won't fall out, which is great. And so now I'm going to select all of this. Actually, no, I'm going to move this one before the rectangular array. So it's still halfway, but it's just created back in time, so I don't have to select it when I'm trying to mirror all this twice. So I'm going to mirror this along the origin. Let me select the mid plane, or not. Oh, I have to change it to plane, mid plane. Chest lid, enter. What's the error there? No fillet edge found. No pattern could be intersected with the original body. Try adjusting the patterns. Okay, that's alright. What I'm gonna do is instead we're gonna mirror this three. So this is just one fillet, and we're gonna mirror that across the internal section there. Enter. So that creates that divot, and then I can mirror this one separately. Yeah, no, I want to mirror more than that. Yeah, we're gonna cancel that. We're gonna delete that mirror. What I'm gonna do is mirror all of this. Nope, sorry, I gotta select all this. Create mirror across the center. Creates that feature, and then I'm gonna create another mid plane, but back in time. Get rid of the lid. Construct mid plane between here and here. Boom. So now what that lets me do is if I bring back the lid and go back forward in time, finally we can mirror this function. Or I guess rather, yeah, well, we can mirror this feature, create a mirror along this one here, and that should not like that, I guess. Interesting. I wonder if I can mirror. I guess I can't mirror a mirror, huh? I wonder if I can mirror it all across that point. So let's turn this off, and then see you later, bud. Construct a mid plane. I'll change it back in time later. But I wanted to mirror this one there. So, well, actually, what if I just create a plane there? And then, oh no, I need the plane. Well, I need the mid plane. That's my target. That's my starting point. At this round one, because that's the original thing. Okay. I may have been able to just like low key rectangular array this. Could be, but I don't know, because I need it reflected. Regardless, we are going to do what we've done, which is bring out this divot here, mirror that across this new one, and that should, bro, what if I bring you back in time? Then will the mirror work? Please don't make me draw this again. Loki though, it might have been faster to just draw it again. Actually, let me see. Let me see if I can select these features and then create a pattern of a rectangular nature along the central axis and draw that out only twice to 60 millimeters. Oh, fantastic. I can do that. And that does affect all the objects in the vicinity. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Now what I'm going to do, get rid of this analyses. See these bodies, I'm going to give it to what we call an offset. An offset, usually I put it in the female piece, which essentially means the receiving end. I didn't coin that term, by the way. That's an existing term used for like a lot of things, mainly cables and my understanding, like plugs, but whatever. Regardless, female piece gets offset, so we're going to go modify. But locally, I don't want my base to be offset because my base is where my measurement's going to come off of. This is round geometry, it looks ugly, so yeah, I'm going to offset this one actually, even though I shouldn't. I don't care. Modify, offset base, offset that, offset that, offset that, and offset this entire thing for all the round surfaces. All your dogs getting buried. It's okay with or without his 9. He gonna see pet cemeteries. That's a Kendrick bar. I'm gonna bring that back point 2, I think is fine. It's usually twice of what your printer. Oh, is it half of your printer? Oh, jeez, I haven't done this in a minute. I think it's half of your printer's nozzle, which is 0.4 for me. So do 0.2. But I'm going to do 0.25 just for that little extra leeway. And well, I guess I'll find out when I do make this. But you can see now that there's a gap both in the rotational axes there. If I zoom in, of 0.25 a millimeter, which is important. It's called tolerance. Always do tolerance. And also in these hinges. So when I actually press it in, it will hopefully fit. Now I did forget, however, to also do this. So we're going to actually select. Nope, we're not going to select anything. We're going to offset this face here. What? What am I doing, man? I might be too tight for this. Okay, anyways, I can't help but notice this has become incredibly thin. And we're gonna have to time travel to see why. But let me just see what's going on here. What? How has that happened? It must have been one of the mirrors. Well, we can actually trace it thanks to time traveling. That's the exact moment the lid went bye-bye. Oh, it happened here. Interesting. Very interesting. What was this process? This is, let's say, -5. And then, well, if I look at the chest base and get rid of the lid, these are all 5 edge walls. I suppose the chest base did not keep up with that. Or when it tried to retroactively time travel. I typed it wrong. I did -0.25 instead of -25. So now if I travel forward in time, it shouldn't have that much of an impact. Perfect. Oh, pardon me. It's quite rude. So now if I bring back the base, so you can see that there's a gap all along the side there. Perfect. So it should, when I print it, fit together just right. Alright. I think I am going. Oh no, I did it the wrong way around. The front is now the back. Well, I can always rotate the object. But But you know what? That's fine for now, because if I move this, this object, you can see this is how the chest is going to rotate. And the pivot point, as you can see, is as I want it. So chest is going to open like that. Now, the next task, I do have 10 minutes left, but I may call early. The next task will be to have this limited, because right now it'll rotate until it can't, which should be 180 degrees, because it's just flat. Which, actually, you know what? I'm fine with that. I don't need limitations. Normally, for rotational components, you need limitations, but for this, that's quite alright. So that's just going to snap like that, snap like that. I want a locking mechanism, so that's the next thing I'm going to work on. And either I'm going to do it magnetically, or I'll do it physically. But that is for next time. And for now, I am just going to rotate everything. So let's just do that, and then I'll call it there. So grab that, grab the coin holder, and we're just going to give it a quick 180. Now, I recommend not doing this and actually just making it correctly, but sometimes you gotta improvise, you know? Right, and this is going to be called the hinge. Alright, very nice. And actually, I will, just for a photo, bring this a little upwards, because it looks quite a bit nicer. Alright, fantastic. So we save that, always save that, and this will be saved as Hinge, so I can find it if I come back. And, oh, what is my phone doing? Oh my goodness. Delete that. Alright, we are going to call it there. See yous in the next one.